Good morning, good morning, good morning, and happy Wednesday, or as Peter would say, hump day. As it is a beautiful morning here in the great state of Michigan. I'm here
Michigan.
alongside Mr. Nathan Wangler, and it's Wednesday. It's episode number 22, and we have our fellow watchers here this morning, and Jimmy and Peter, we appreciate you stopping by. It's Wednesday. It is Inside the Game here on the National Soccer Network. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Roku on this fine Wednesday morning. So,
Peter, you like my light? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I got that one off of Amazon yesterday. It's actually right behind my computer here. I like it too. I can actually see my face. And it's funny because when we're recording, it never looks bad. It looks bad when I put it up on social, when I post the video. Yes, that's what I look like. I look like I'm talking in a completely pitch black room. And I'm like, goodness gracious. So when we're recording, it doesn't look too bad. But when I post it, it looks terrible.
did
So
you
I got this
remote?
light, fortunately. Oh, that's cool. Do you have like
Right, I
strobe
got my
lights? Can
hands
you
up.
change the colors?
Oh, I can. Yeah. See, so right, I can.
Ah,
Oh, yeah. I can.
you have a
Mine can.
party in there.
I know, right? But to each their own. I can get really bright. So, anyways, no, it's great that you were able to join us in the 21st century there, Mr. Wangler, with some light. Let there be light.
My laptop's not from the 21st century, so we have to address that. But that step by step, guys, we're getting there slowly but surely.
One step was it one step for mankind and one small step for what was it? One small step, one
For man, one giant leap for mankind.
There it is. Yeah. So there, we just got to change that to fit your situation, whatever that would be.
But me buying a podcast light was a giant leap for mankind. Giant.
Hey, I want to talk about this for a second, and I think it's important, right? Because people are gonna, I think on some level, Nathan, they're gonna be like, hey, what is it you guys do? What is it that NSN does? What do we do? It's a great question. I'm glad you asked it, Nathan. But I think important today, something we talk about a lot, and now we're now getting into this. But our website, NSN, so National Soccer Network, that is where all the things that we do will go, right? All the news articles. I mean, we've got a ton of stuff, and I'll click it back to our homepage here. And when you go there for the first time, right, you're gonna see all these things related to news, right, and just different stories that we're writing on a consistent basis, right, and so you can come here and you can get all the things that you want. Now I know Peter is in the Illinois area, right, so if I click on this Illinois tab, for example, it's going to take me to the Illinois soccer page, right, where all the news stories related to Illinois will be found. Okay, so that is something I think is really, really important, right? So if you live in Illinois, you can come here and you will find stories that we were. In matter of fact, there was a UWS story here from 5 days ago, a 2-minute read that Dan wrote. Boom, it's right there. So we have stories that were in the last couple of days, right? And again, we have a page for every state in the country. So wherever you live, right? I do believe Jimmy Co. I think you live down in the Florida area, so I believe that you're in that. Maybe I'm wrong. I could have swore I thought he said he was in Florida. But here's a look at some stories from Florida, right? So we have some Florida stories in here, right? So all those stories, and I'm not sure. I got to figure out why there's two things there, but I'll address that at another time. But the reason he's in Arizona, so let's go back. We'll find Arizona, which is right there. See if we got what's going on here in the Arizona. Okay, so there we go, Arizona. So 3 days ago, we have a story from NWSL. Commissioner says that the league is not done expanding, hints to joining Denver. So we have a story there in the Arizona page, right? And so if you're an advertiser, you're a business in these areas, right? You can imagine just we're going to have banner ads like right here for businesses in Arizona. This page right here, this area here is a spot for advertisers. As a matter of fact, if we went to our Go back here. Again, there are things that I'm finding out as I go through all of this, like where are things, where should I go, and what, making sure the pages are correct, and it's like loading, and it's a process. And believe you me, we'll make sure it's 100% accurate every time moving forward. But this is like Michigan. So in Michigan, this banner right here is a banner that we have sold or we will be selling, right? And this is an example of someone that would advertise in that spot, right? Then you got your stories here. And then down below here, you've got your local partners, right? And these local partners, they're paying to be here, right? So we put these banners here, and they will rotate. So that just gives you kind of a general idea of like what that would look like. And then what we're doing is, because we have all these businesses possibly coming to our website on a regular basis, especially in the soccer space, I felt we should have like a listings page. So here are like listings of businesses all around the country that we'll be adding in here. We've been adding in almost every day now, where they could advertise what they do, right? Peter Kuhn Creative Media, that was put in here the couple of days. They're in Pennsylvania. Coach Stacy Kwao, actually, is in Hawaii, right? So you can put your business in this area here, and it will, you click on it and learn more, and it takes you to their page, which gives you a description of their services. If there's a website, you can click on the website, and it's a great little place for businesses to go be found. And here's a really cool part: it's all done by category or by state. So if you live in the state of Hawaii, we're going to see there's two listings, right? If you are in Indiana, you're going to have, there's one right there right now. So this kind of gives you an idea of just different things that will be available to be looked at here on our platform. So I just want to show out this one. I thought that'd be kind of a cool little, little showing of what it is that we're doing now on our website. So,
yeah, well, and so that's where companies can advertise with us. At least get in for free. And you and I chatted about this yesterday. Like, it is at no cost to you, right? And what we are expecting in the upcoming year. And again, we talked about, lofty projections, but this isn't even lofty. And I actually kind of appreciated the fact that you kind of went on the lower side with this number, because you could have gone to the opposite end and given us the absolute highest number, and we could be out here throwing out ridiculous statements and just hoping that, people jump on with us. But the fact that we have projected 5 million people that are going to visit our website in the upcoming year. We have over 4,000 games that are coming to our platform. I thought it was really important to kind of package all of that in a way that I can go back as, the person who's in charge of social media and making these clips and everything like that. Something that I could go back, something tangible that I could cut up and show to people if they're actually curious about what it is that we do. Like, if you want to know in the shortest of terms, because the hardest thing about what we're trying to accomplish right now, and especially with going out and calling businesses and trying to get people on the phone and talk to them about who we are and what it is that we're looking for. I'm going to be honest, the hardest part has nothing to do with the actual sales. It has to do with the timing of it all. Because as we've chatted about, a lot of times the first thing that they want to do, a lot of these businesses, they just want to get you off the phone. Because there are people that are calling them all day long, every single day, asking them for their money. That's just a part of their job. That's what they deal with on a daily basis. And so they actually set things up in place in order to block whoever that caller is from getting to the person who makes the decisions, which is ultimately who we want to talk to if we want to get their business and we want them to advertise either on our website, on our broadcast, whatever it is. And the hardest thing to do, the hardest thing to keep track of is the timing of it all. Because I can sit here and talk for an hour. You and I sit here and talk for an hour every single morning. And a lot of it is about who we are as a company and what we're trying to accomplish. But to package that all into about 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, right? 60 seconds. What are the most important things that I say in order to get them to understand not only what we are, but where we're going? This is a really, really hard thing to do. So the one thing I wanted to do to like open up the show today was give us both the room. And I'm not going to break out a stopwatch or say time or anything. I'm not going to give you a time limit. But I just kind of want us both to say exactly what this is, who we are, what we do and what people can expect out of us in the coming year. And so I guess we can both kind of take this approach, because I was calling a couple of people yesterday, and I just remember getting into these conversations about they don't really understand. There's a lot there. There's a lot of information that I give to them. There's a lot of things that I said, but they're like, for some reason, they just mentally, they can't put it together why it would be a smart choice for them to come, not just get a free business listing, but to actually invest in what we are and to see something back from that. And I know we've had multiple meetings about what it looks like and what to say and all this other stuff, but I'll start with you, JT. If you were to package it up, right? Package it up. Short terms, I'm talking maybe a paragraph, who we are and why people should advertise with us. If there's anything that comes to mind for you, and it doesn't have to be exactly in this realm. Again, I can cut it up and make it look nice. What would you say?
The first thing I was going to say is absolutely, Mr. Customer, Mr. Business, USA. You probably have not heard of us. That would be the first thing. I'm a firm believer that you're probably right. You haven't heard of us, but I can guarantee you over the next 6 to 12 months that won't be a thing. Okay, so you will hear of us. That's first and foremost. Second, we are a place where soccer lives, it breathes, and it thrives. Right. So all things soccer, from news, from game streaming to all of it, everywhere in between, we are where soccer lives, breathes, and thrives. Okay. We have built this highway that you are currently not on. Right. Currently not on. I want you to envision this for 1 second, Nathan. If you were the customer, right, you're driving down the freeway, right? And there is an exit sign, right? And down that freeway, right, there's a whole bunch of billboards. You see lawyers, you see doctors, you see marijuana, what do you want to call it? Everywhere you go now billboards, there's marijuana stuff. Okay, so billboard. All of a sudden, there's an exit. Take new exit 10A, and you hop on that, right? And it's new road created. First exit, you're driving down it, and there are no billboards on it right now. There's no billboards, okay? But there's a lot of traffic. Right? So that is what we have created. We've created a new highway that traffic is going to be coming in. A lot of it. And right now you're not on there. There are no billboards. So first and foremost, if you come onto our platform, you'll be coming in a way right now where, the investment, it will be a lot less today than it will be a year from now. So you get the ground floor pricing. You get the grand opening pricing, right? We're going to come in at a very reasonable price to get you in the door, get you an opportunity to get the exposure on our highway. Next year, the rates are going to go up, right? Because you yourself said you don't know who I am. But when the year comes to an end and everybody knows who we are, you are going to be paying more money. So it's give and take, right? So I think it's important that first I kind of lay that out before I kind of go down this whole short, sweet thing for you. I know you wanted a couple.
No, that's fine. I mean, just that, like I said,
it's just I just think it's important that people understand like what we're doing here. All right. There have been a lot of places that have come before us, and I'm sure will come after us, that do similar things, but on a individual level, right? My Cujo 11 Sports. If anyone has ever watched My Cujo or 11 Sports, it was created for soccer. It doesn't exist anymore. And the reason why, it was a platform created for just streaming. Okay. There was a lot of flaws to it, but it was just created. It was only created for a place for streaming. So for destination only. It didn't have any other real meat and potatoes behind it. You could insert information about teams and things like that, but it was a destination platform. There's a lot of other things that are just like the OTT platforms that are just streaming only, right? Just the destination. We aren't just a destination, right? We are so much more than that. And that's why when I was creating this concept, I didn't want it to be a place where you just go watch games. I wanted to be a place where you also went and read stories, where there could be rankings, where there could be, this, that, or the other, right? We wanted to create a place where it's everything. And so for the company that's out there, and here's the great thing about this too, Nathan, when you're having these conversations with businesses, and when I'm having conversations, okay, well, what do you think is fair? I'm offering it to you for free. I'm giving you a listing on our platform. But if you did know about us and you did know that we are in the soccer space, what would be a fair price to pay on a monthly basis for a banner ad on a website? I mean, I'm asking you, if you were just in your shoes right now, maybe even Jimmy or Peter, whoever's tuning in right now, what is a fair price for a banner ad? Like on any website, like just what's a fair price?
I don't know what our budget is, so I wouldn't be
Doesn't
able
matter.
to
It
answer
doesn't matter.
that.
It does not matter what budget is. I'm
I'll
asking
throw out a number. How about $100
$100 a month or $100 total?
at total?
Okay, so Mr. Customer, and how much of a return?
We're role playing here. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
how
Okay.
much of a return would you need on that $100 in order for you to pay more?
Probably more than what I initially invested. So let's say $200.
$200. So you'd want to see 2 to 1 is what you want to see. 2 to 1
Sure.
return. Okay, fair enough. What if I told you last year that all the people that advertised with us, their return on average was 7 to 1? So for every dollar they gave us, they got back $7. So if you gave us $100, I'm going to give you 700. Right? Now, my next question
That's
for you
not
is
too bad.
this. It's a really simple question. My next question for you is this, Mr. Customer, is what is your average service cost? Like if a brand new customer
$50.
walks in the door, they're paying $50. That's their average?
Right about.
Okay, and of that $50, how many times would they come back and spend $50 more? Is it a one-time transaction or is it multiple times?
It's multiple times.
So
We
a
have a
brand new
couple. We have a
customer,
loyal base.
your brand new customer is worth not $50, but more like 100.
Yeah, 100 or a little bit over that.
So in order for this to work, we're talking about a brand new customer. You would need somewhere in the neighborhood of like between 6 and like 9 new customers, 10 new customers, all right, spending $50 on average in order for this to make sense. You told me 2 to 1. We do normally 7 to 1, but you only need 4 customers to do 2 to 1 for this to work. But if you get those 4 customers, they're coming back again. So we'll just divide that and cut that in half and say only a couple of them will come back. So we know right off the bat that if I sent you 4 brand new customers, they're going to spend an average of $200 on the first visit and then spend another $50 on the next visit. So that's another. So we could give you 4 new customers who are spending $300. I don't have any doubt in my mind that could be done. But again, depending on how much money you spend, right? I can tell you for sure that the banner ads on our website that you're going to be in front of 140,000 people this year in your state. In your state, who are all looking for things related to soccer on our website. So, that would be how I would address that.
So
And
you actually 7 to 1 returns? That's true?
yeah, yep.
Really?
Specifically in the soccer space too, right? You think about the soccer space.
And these are companies that are reporting directly to you on the outcome of them advertising with you, or how do you measure that?
FC Barcelona, for example, FC Barcelona camps here in Michigan, they've been advertising with us for a number of years now. That was a soccer camp. They, as a result of their $200 per month ad, they sold 21 camp registrations. So their camp registrations are $300. Some change. So whatever 21 times 300 is, what is that? $6,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. So $6,000. Divide that by they paid $200 a month for 4 months last year. So 200 times was it $800? They paid $800 to get $6,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just one example. Right. So like that kind of stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, the local company down the street that is a contractor, I have no idea. You know what I mean? Here's the thing about advertising, right? is you could have the greatest advertising program in history, but you could be terrible with customer service. You could
Right.
be the greatest plumber, greatest painter, greatest whatever, but your customer service, your delivery, your follow through, you're picking up the phone. All those things make a difference in today's world. If you don't pick it, I'm a person, and I don't know if anyone else wants to comment on this, but when you're talking about going to a business for the first time, pick up the phone and you have a need, and no one is there to answer that need right away. You go down the pipe, you got a list. I can get next one, next. You just keep going until you get someone on the phone. And a lot of times, the first person you talk to, the first company becomes the first place you go to do your business with. Kind of how it works. You know, think about a restaurant, right? I can go to a restaurant. I can tolerate bad food. I can't tolerate bad service. Now, what I can do as a person that loves food, I will bypass bad service for unbelievable food. You know, just really great food and their service is terrible. I can still tolerate that, but I cannot tolerate good food and terrible service. Or bad food and terrible. I can tolerate bad food and good service, but I'm not. You know what I mean? You see how that kind of work? I think we're all kind of we all measure things that way.
Right. On my end of what we're talking about, here's how I would package it up, and I like what you talked about with what we've already done for the people that we've advertised to, because I think that's some of the meat and potatoes of what it is that I would like to actually show people. Because the hardest thing is, even just on an individual basis, like it is tough for even me. And I'll say this just personality wise, I hate spending money. And in a lot of ways, I'm kind of my own business, especially with the freelancing thing.
It's what you just said there. It's the spending, right? So we got to flip it, right? And in my world, it's not spending. Now the business owner is going to say spending. It's investing.
Right. That's the point I'm getting to, though.
Yeah.
Is right. Money is going out, whatever word you want to use. But that's the hardest thing. And even for me, who in a lot of ways is my own business. Again, I work for you and I work for other places. So I am technically an employee at certain places. But as a freelancer, oftentimes you are your own personal business. And so that means that you are going to have business expenses and, obviously taxes and all that other stuff. But it oftentimes revolves you making those investments in order to improve your slot, whether it be podcasting equipment, podcast decorations, broadcast equipment for the places that I go that really don't have the good stuff. You need to be able to invest in order to make it better. So to actually have those stats and figures in front of me is really helpful, because this might actually give businesses an opportunity to see, okay, you're not just investing into nothingness. This isn't just the void that you're just throwing money into. There is something that's going to come back to you. The other thing that I would say about us, and again, if I'm going to cut this up and show to people, we talked about it on one of our earlier episodes, how one of the biggest ways of bringing the soccer community together and making it stronger and just making us a better soccer nation overall is getting everybody under one umbrella. Dan said it the other day, and I thought it was shocking in our sales meeting that we had. But Dan Stickrat talked about how soccer is an over $34 billion business in the United States. That is astronomical to me. That means that the resources, the people, the trainers, the coaches, the businesses, the apparel shops, all of them, they're all out there, and they're out there in numbers, but there is no one umbrella that they all fall under. We're not all going in the same direction. Matter of fact, I would argue the opposite. We're all pulling in opposite directions, because I think there are a lot of big egos in the sport of soccer who might think one way or the other that they have it figured out. And so one of the biggest reasons why I think there's a struggle here in the United States to really bring soccer to that next level isn't because there isn't the money, isn't because there isn't the sport or the love for the sport. It's because we are so disjointed in our efforts to bring soccer to that next level that we can't really come up with one really big plan in order to bring this thing to where we want it to go. That's what we're trying to do here on NSN. We're not CBS. We're not Fox. We're not ESPN. We're not just here to cover the big boys. We are here to cover all levels of soccer across the United States of America under one umbrella. And we continue to sign with new leagues, what feels like day after day. And we are doing professional soccer. Don't get me wrong. I mean, MASL, Women's Premier Soccer League, like we are stepping our game up. But the way that I would describe it, it's like a snowball rolling downhill, right? You get to the top.
I'm sorry, I was going to say amen too, brother, but Peter got there first. I was going to say, preach, my friend, preach.
Hey, hallelujah. It's the presidency, throw your hands up or anything. There's no like drum roll or nothing no drum like roll, that.
Man. Keep it going, man. That's
right. Hey, there's sound effects in here. We gotta get that going. No, our efforts, like I said, very, very disjointed. So if for businesses out there, anybody that wants to get in on this, we are all under the same umbrella. We are all following the same pursuit. And so for you guys, this is an opportunity, again, to get in on the ground floor, kind of like Jonathan was saying, because there is, in our efforts to really bring it under one umbrella and make it one pursuit, that's going to create, the analogy I was going to use was like a snowball rolling downhill, right? It starts off small. And in everything that describes this company is small. You started it almost kind of like as a passion project 4 years ago, which again is amazing how it's gotten as far as it has. And part of me kind of envies your business savvy because I don't have a lot of that. I got the linguistic side, and that's where I studied, and that's where my focus was. But obviously you have the business acumen. But the snowball rolling downhill is this: we are the snowball right now. Okay, I would say we're about a quarter of a way down the hill. We're building up steam. We got more people. We just signed a couple of professional leagues. But once that snowball gets about halfway, 3/4 of the way down the hill, and you can start to see all of this kind of coming together under one umbrella, you're going to understand that we're not just here to just do this one thing. We're not just here for podcasting. We're not just here for live streaming. We're not just here for articles. We are your one-stop shop, your one place that you can go to for soccer across the United States. Now, if you want to go to like specific websites for states or this social media account, or if you want to try the big guys, that's fine, but you're going to have to do a little work on Google and maybe go to page 3 to find exactly what it is that you need to find. Or you can go to the National Soccer Network and find everything that you need to right in one place. And if you threw out the number a little bit earlier, 140 to 150,000 people from just one specific state using our platform. Why you wouldn't want to join in, why you wouldn't want to hop on the bandwagon or get on that snowball is beyond me. So that's the way that I would package it up. There's the money and the resources are there in the United States for the sport of soccer. Like let's not lie about that. And it's probably more so than a lot of other countries that are better at the sport of soccer than we are. But here's the thing: we're disjointed and we can't quite figure out a way to get everybody going in one direction. Whereas maybe in some of these other countries, culturally speaking, that's never been the case. Right? Everybody's playing, everybody's coaching, everybody's cheering, everybody's going to the pub and watching games. So for us, it's a matter of creating that one unison push in the right direction. The National Soccer Network is where you start in that direction.
Very, very well said. And when you say things like, hey, we're going to be all things soccer, I thought that, while this is going to be announced later this week, I think it's important to talk about like what we're talking about. And so NSN Nation is going to be our membership platform. And it's going to start off for coaches. It'll start off designed for coaches to have a home, for being part of a community, to learn, to have resources, to be part of our ranking and awards process for players, teams, and clubs all across the country. It will then later on It'll be an opportunity for players, parents, and for referees to be a part of as well. They'll be able to go in and access different information in the portals, be a part of a community where they can ask questions, seminars, live thing. I mean, there's so many things that we're going to do behind the scenes within this platform that the sky really is the limit. And so it's going to be a place for all things soccer. This platform, again, behind the scene, a membership type platform. And so it's really important that when we talk about, if you just want to come watch games, by all means, come and watch games. There's going to be a ton of that. If you want to grab some news, there's going to be a ton of that. And so if you want to be part of our membership group, go join that. I mean, there's just so many different things that are all interconnected that we will be able to provide within the soccer space, right? And we were just talking about this.
It's a thing. It's not just entertainment. I mean, if you're really entertained by coming on to 9 to 10 every morning, Monday through Friday, and watching us talk about this, that, or the other thing, I'm flattered. Okay, let me just put that out there. I really appreciate it. Or if you watch any of our games, family, friends, whatever, that's fine. But to your point, and it's something we've talked about a lot, it's not just an entertainment place. We are creating, really, if you're involved in the game in any way, coaching, reffing, playing, consuming, any of it, we have something for you. And so that's the thing that I need everyone to keep in mind that may be watching this, or if I put it up on social media and you're listening, or Peter, or anybody that's in the show right now, this is not just strictly an entertainment-based business. And that's why I think the model works. And I think you understand that, you personally, JT, because again, the question always comes back to, what do I get out of this? We already talked about what the businesses get out of it. And if they don't get it, hey, if that at the end of the day, if they're doing everything they can to get away from us, fine. You'll hear about us in about 6-7 months, right? And I'm saying this personally, JT, because I'm not a salesman. Okay, I'm doing this because I believe in this product. That's why I'm putting myself out there, because I believe in what we do. And so the other thing that I want people to understand is, as someone that is in the world of play-by-play and sports media, and this, I'm sure this is true for anybody else, you're going to run into a lot of people in life that are going to make lofty goals and promises, and they're going to say certain things are going to happen, and you're going to buy in, and then you're going to get sorely mistaken, right? It's that whole saying of, if it seems too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. And I've had a couple of situations already in my career where, like, the first year in, it's like, wow, like I'm getting paid this amount to do this stuff. And, the person in charge is like, well, this is going to be like the biggest thing ever. And this thing, this, that, and that's going to happen. And then a year later, I get my rep slashed, and all of a sudden we're not doing it anymore. And then I move on to this next thing. And again, more big promises. And we're going to turn this into the next IMG Academy, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. None of that happens. Okay, I end up losing out on money. I end up losing out on reps. I said this on an earlier episode. JT makes a lot of lofty goals, and he makes a lot of lofty promises. And from the beginning, and it has nothing to do with you personally, JT. I don't want you to think that this is me an attack on you. But this was, I was always in the back of my head, like, is this guy serious? Like really? This is what he thinks is going to happen? And then a week or a month would go by, and oh, okay, that thing that he said was going to happen, it happened. Okay, another couple months would go by. Oh, okay, well, that other thing he said was going to happen happened. I'm not going out calling businesses because I'm a guy that's looking for commission. The money's great, okay? But trust me, I've gotten by in life so far without a whole lot of money to say. So it's not like I'm begging for your cash. I'm calling you because I believe in the model, because I believe in the pursuit to bring everybody together and make this more of an organized push in the sport of soccer. Football is more organized. A lot of other sports are more organized in their push, and obviously, culturally speaking, they're more relevant. But that's the goal here. We're not, the promises and the goals that we are setting are obtainable, and they're right there in front of us. Salesman also. I'm trying, Peter. I'm really trying. I'm really trying my best. I am shaking hands and hugging babies and doing all that stuff. So
I've been doing this long enough to know, not obviously like this, but in sales and that kind of stuff for a long time. And what I will say is this, that if we think small, you get small.
yeah.
Right? If you think large, you might end up only being small, and that's fine. I am thinking as large as you possibly can. I'm going after and having meetings with the biggest leagues in the country. I'm having conversations with every single one of them. And hey, are they all saying yes to us right now? No, I think that there's a lot of like, okay, can you do this? And that's fine. Yes, we can. And so we are going through this learning and growing curve right now. We're investing a ton of money and energy and time into its success. So I don't think for 1 second that it's going to be easy, right? And to be fair, nothing in life that's worth anything comes easy. So we expect there to be some kind of form or some level of complexity and difficulty to what we're doing. There are a lot of companies out there that do streaming, very similar to what we do, right? They don't do all of the things that we do, but they might do all sports, right? They might just do everything. Okay,
Right.
go. I mean, so I don't,
and what
and
sets us
I don't
apart?
claim us to be the best. I mean, I just had a comment on Facebook saying our Roku channel is choppy. It's something that obviously, we are trying to fix all these things that are happening kind of in real time. And there's going to be a part of this where there's going to be some adjustments that we have to make. The great thing about this is that whether you're watching it on Roku or watching it on YouTube, the video is the same feed. So if Roku is struggling, it's still available on YouTube, right? So that's the beautiful aspect of what it is that we do, right? So I don't pretend, to know everything, but that's why we have it on two places, right? If it was just on Roku and we were having a problem, we'd be in trouble. Right. So we're not in trouble in that regard. We have it in multiple places. Here's the thing that I think is important. Being in sales is about enthusiasm. It's about conviction in what you're doing. If you don't have those two components, you're not going to sell anything, right? What you just portrayed here a moment ago and over the last couple of minutes is exactly what it takes to be effective in any sales role at any company in the world, which is you have to believe in what you're selling. If you do not believe in it, your customers will see through your bullshit, right? And so that's important. Selling is enthusiasm with conviction. That's what it is. And sometimes it takes new sales representatives, consultants, whatever you want to call them, a few months to really understand what it is that they're selling and the belief behind it so that they can have that conviction and enthusiasm coming together. Because most of your sales people are going to be enthusiastic, but they might not be as convicted have that conviction about what they're doing and how they're doing it so that it can be portrayed in a sales call. But you have that. The thing that someone that would train salespeople in the sales world, things I would tell people all the time, Nathan, were just be yourself, and more importantly, when you're being yourself, come at it from the standpoint of if I were in your shoes, this is what I would do. Right. Mr. Customer, if you don't believe in what we're doing, that's fine. If it doesn't cost you anything, why does that matter? You know what I mean? I would walk out when I was in the car business, Nathan, and I would see someone on the lot and they would be the first. What's your best price? Right out the gate, right? Imagine, I'm sure there's some people out there who go out and buy cars and they're on a lot and they don't want to be sold anything, right? And the guy or girl, they're like, "Oh, what's your best price?" I said, "It's free. Take it home right now." So like, whoa, wait a second. What do you mean it's free? I go, well, it's free. You can take it home right now. And they'd be like, no, I mean, no, I haven't driven it. I don't know if I like it. I go, okay. So then I guess if it's free, then you really, I guess the pricing is not as important as is whether you like it or not, right? And they're like, I guess, yeah, I guess it does. I guess if I'm going to give it to you for free, I guess it really does matter how it drives and whether or not you like it, doesn't it? And they're like, yeah, you see how that goes? Yeah, I mean, I've never lost a customer to price. I have lost customers because they didn't believe in what it was that they didn't see the value in it. They didn't believe in it. They didn't, there's a number of reasons as to why someone didn't buy something from me. But I think it's most important too. When was the last time when you were at an event or a party or a conversation with one of your friends or family, and they're like, man, I got sold yesterday. This person was so good at selling me that I bought this TV and they sold it to me. No, man, no one talks like that. What they're like is like, my gosh, I bought this TV yesterday. It's a 75-inch plasma LED. Like it says my name when I turn it on. Like it is unbelievable. Nobody ever goes out there and like it starts to get enthusiastic about how they got sold. That's not how we work. We work in the way that, I went out and bought this. Look what I bought. Look at all my hard work got me. Right. So that is the thing. So when you're talking with somebody and you're like, yeah, I get it, man. No one wants to be sold anything. I get that. But at the end of the day, it's about it's either you're going to be there or you're not going to be there. You decided one day that you wanted to open your own business. You went down to the bank, got a bank account, filed some stuff with the state, got your license, leased out a building, all these things, right? And you did that because you wanted to make a difference, make some money, support your family. That's what you wanted to do. The reality is, Mr. Customer, that 9 out of 10 people driving down this road right now have no idea you even exist. And if I could go out there and poll them, I would. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be here. You'd be so busy right now. Oh, and then the other thing is a lot of times you'll get people saying like things to you, Nathan, too. This is another common objection is I don't have the people to help me. And this is what I always say to this. All right. This is for all of you out there. This is a nice little thing. Okay. I understand, most of the businesses that I talk to will tell me that they're really busy and they can't take on new customers. But let me ask you a question. What is the one service that you currently provide or product that you have that you would want, if anything came in the door, you'd want to sell that. You'd want that to go out the door. Like, what is the one service? Oh, our fall cleanup. Or our teeth whitening. It's the easiest. It's the most. We make the most money on it. Blah blah blah. Great. So why don't we market that? So that way, even though you're busy, these ones coming in the door will make you the most money. And it's the ones you want because you'll be making the most money off of it. Let's create a program strategically that will send people for that service. We won't market anything else. And there's going to be a day when the phone stops ringing. What are you going to do then? It's going to be too late. It's going to be too late when the phone stops ringing. People stop walking in the door. It's going to happen. It happens in everyone's business. So when the phone stops ringing, what are you going to do? So my thing is keep the phone ringing and let you make business decisions every day. If you can do that, then the rest will fall into place. But do not allow yourself to get in this mentality where I'm good because I'm busy right now. Have you always been busy? And they'll lie to you and they'll probably say yes. Oh yeah, we were always busy since the day we opened, whatever. No, that's not how this works.
No,
not every even the busiest restaurants in the world still have a slow time during the day, right? And so everything there's so many things that we can do in these kind of conversations. But again, this is years of experience, man. I've been doing this for so long that these things just kind of roll out of my brain.
Right. Well, and it goes back to, and you said this the other day too. If you don't evolve, you die.
Yeah.
That's what it is. This is 2025. If you don't find a way to evolve your business, you will die. Because how many businesses, and even here in Grand Rapids, one of the things that I think makes our city really great is we used to have a meat market, I swear, on every single corner. It's not really the case anymore. We got our few. I used to work at one. But a lot of these, we call them OGs. That's what the kids call them. A lot of the older business owners, I'll say the same thing, right? Kodak.
I think he's saying that the business that didn't evolve died. Kodak.
Oh, Kodak. I was thinking Klondike. Now I'm hungry. They do not evolve. Yes. So a lot of them all relied on the same exact thing. Word of mouth. We've been in this city for X amount of years. We got our base of loyal customers. And then you start taking a look around and you're like, that customer is about 72 years old. That customer is about 70 years old. That customer's been coming here for about 4 decades. I wonder what happens when that group of people starts dying off and their kids move away and they've never come here before and you've never put in any sort of effort whatsoever. A radio ad, a TV ad, a place in the newspaper, although newspaper's dying off, social media, you've never done any of that stuff. And any person, any salesperson, anybody that comes along that's like, hey, let me give you a leg up. This is all we're asking for you, $50, $100, whatever our example was earlier. Let me go out of my way to help you out, to make sure that that business continues to flow. And they say no. It's almost like business suicide in a way. And it's not just them. It's us too, JT. How much have we had to evolve in the broadcasting space? Okay. 2020 taught us it's not a guarantee, right? We in logistically speaking, we can't go everywhere and be in every place at one time. It's just not realistic if we want to be able to cover as much as we are. So we've had to adjust. We've had to evolve in the broadcasting world to a digital space. We've had to go to a different, you don't see me over here as a broadcaster burning CDs and packaging them in the mail and mailing them to potential employers so that they could listen to it 2-3 weeks down the line. So why the heck would businesses follow the same model that they did 30 years ago? You have to evolve. You have to find a new way. In this market that I was working at, it was amazing to see because we got a younger person in there to kind of help with leading things. And we started coming out with apparel. We had a social media account. We had an actual advertising push. And what would you know? Our clientele becomes younger. All of a sudden, we got 20-somethings coming in and 30-somethings coming in and kids that are just moving to the neighborhood that are like, oh my gosh, like my friend gave me this and I like this t-shirt or this hat. And it's like, now we're able to stick around. Now we're one of the few in this city that is actually still doing really good business, that doesn't have to rely on Jim and Carol, who have been coming to our shop for 35 years, but they're not going to live forever. They're not turtles, okay? They don't live for 200 years. You got to find a way. You have to find a way in order to get with where the times are going. So that's my hardest thing. We've had to do it in the broadcasting space. I've had to do it. So you have to do it as well. Okay, so it's again, it all comes back to that super highway that you're talking about. And I could say that about Grand Rapids. Like some of the earliest businesses that came here and set up shop saw the potential for growth, and now they're some of the biggest, like Amway. Amway is a prime example. Amway started in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in a garage, right? And there used to be a time in Grand Rapids where you could roll a bowling ball down the middle of downtown and not hit anything. You wouldn't hit a single thing. Now you would hit a fire hydrant. You would hit a kid on the sidewalk. You would hit some dude's car as he's driving by. You'd probably end up smashing a window at this business. Like it's not a metropolis by any stretch, but those early businesses saw the value in setting up shop here before everybody started flooding from Chicago or Metro Detroit or wherever they came from. And now they have these big booming businesses. You got to get with the times. That's the simple message in this. And again, I'm not a business owner, okay? And much respect to anybody who does run a business, because I don't know how you guys do it, because you have to worry about 17 things all at the same time. but you got to get with the times. You absolutely have to get with the times. There's no choice.
Yeah, and again, when the business is like, well, I want to be in everything. Well, you're if you want to be successful, you're gonna have to try to. Depending what industry you're in, right? I mean, I remember, every industry is different too, right? If you're in the wedding industry, if you're like a bakery, you got to be on websites like the Knot. I'm not sure the Knot still exists or not, but that was like a website you had to be on, right? And you had to be on the Yellow Pages, area, right? You had to be in places, you had to be on social media. And granted, now today's the world is so much different than it was back 15, 20 years ago, that you can invest money in the ads that are yours. But again, not everyone is going to be there, right? So we invest in the Facebook ads to generate traffic to come to our platform, right? I mean, last week alone, we had 50,000 impressions just on Facebook alone. So when I put an ad out there, that's 50,000 impressions that someone could get when we put an ad out there for what we do, right? So this
Like that.
just like that.
Yeah.
So like we know this, right? And so we're building a highway. You can hop on or you can't, right? And the cool thing about this too, Nathan, is that, and this is the mentality that when I first got into sales, it's very much like I always compare sales to dating. Okay, when
that was fun too. So
when you are talking to a customer for the first time, imagine you're sitting across the table, with a first date, right? You're not going to spill all the beans on date one, right? You're not going to talk about your, all the things that, you're not going to talk about how you failed out of college. You're not going to, it's all the good stuff, right? Think about a job interview too, right? What candidate's going to walk in and be like, yeah, I got fired from my last job. I'm unemployed. I dropped out of college. I have 3 convictions. Like no one is going to do that in an interview. No, they're like, oh my God, I'm the best, whatever, of all time, and it's like, we're all trying to, you're selling them on why they should pick your company. They're selling you why they should be part of your company. And somewhere in the middle there, you're going to get some of the truth, and that's how, but same thing on a date. What do you do on a date? Well, first off, to get to the date, today's world is so much more different than it's ever been. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And to be fair,
yeah.
when it comes to that game, it not saying that the women used to have a lot more kind of discontrol, but man, they have way more now than they've ever had, because again, it's like, this thing's happening, and it's so that's a whole other conversation for another show. Inside the game, right? We should definitely talk about the game of dating. But anyway, no. But yeah, I mean, but you're not gonna, when you're sitting across the table from that person, you're like, hey, yeah, what do you stand for? What you don't talk about how many kids you want on date one, and you don't talk about like, I want to get married in 3 weeks. Like that's not a thing that happens, right? But what you do is you share enough that makes people want to come back for more, to get a second date. Like if your goal on date one, again, I don't want to get into all the whatever, but the date should get date 2. That should be the goal. Get date 2. And then on date 2, it should be get date 3. Right. And then as things go on, that will be evolve. The same thing is true with a customer for the first time. Hey, Mr. Customer, I just want to have another conversation with you. I want to have a conversation. If you think that what we're doing is valuable, let's have another one. And we'll have another one. And ultimately, you'll make a choice. Do you want to hop on board, or do you not want to hop on board? Right? That's how that works. And if it doesn't, and to be fair, as one of my mentors once said to me back when I was in my early 20s, John, there is just like the same thing would be true for a woman. There's a girl in every city of every county of every state in this country. So to sit here and say that there's only one for you is ludicrous. No, there is one out there that I'm sure that you will be compatible with. It's just a matter of finding them, right? So don't get locked up in the fact that there's only one for you. No. My wife, I love her very, very much. I am sure, and she probably would attest to this too, that there are probably plenty of other men out there that probably have similar qualities to me, that if we met at different times, she might have gone down that path with them. I am blessed to have my wife. Blessed beyond, I can't even use the words to describe how blessed I am. But it's true. There are enough businesses in this country that the ones that say no, fine, okay, well, we wish you luck. No hard feelings. If you want to take advantage of our free listing, by all means. But if not, no big deal. We'll move on to the next one. And I'm sure someone will. We don't need 3 million. We just need a couple hundred businesses to believe in what we're doing. And the rest, can go wherever. No hard feelings to that.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's how that's supposed to work. And it's no different than any soccer team, right? Because oh, look at that. Oh, Steve Best copping in. Look at this. Shout out to Bianca. There it is. Steve Best. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Shout out. But teams do this all the time. Teams want to win. So what do colleges do when you want you're recruiting a player? You bring them into your campus, you show them the locker room and the facilities, and you're whining and dining them. You're talking about this, that, and the other. And none of those things at the end of the day have anything to do with what happens on the field. You're just trying to sell them on why your school is better than the next. And why your system is better than
and they might at the Yep. And at the end of the day, they still might say no. And you only have 100 roster spots or however many. I guarantee you, they probably recruited about a couple thousand, if not more kids.
Oh, you're just a number. And as long as everybody in this world knows that, come on, man. It's numbers. And I don't want to be disingenuous because we want to work with companies that are forward thinking, that have an idea of kind of what we're trying to accomplish and be a part of that for the ride. And the more of them that do that, the more value they will see in what we're doing. Okay. But with that being said, we don't need every business. We just need a couple hundred in the whole scheme of things. And
people that really want
see a value in what we're doing and see that want to be a part of it.
And that's the whole thing that I came into. And it's funny because I came into this episode with an idea of a couple of different things that I wanted to chat about. But this is good. We can push that off to different episodes. But I'm happy that this actually spanned the entire time of us talking, because I know we're wrapping up here pretty soon. But that's the whole thing is I realize, and that mentality is starting to get better. I'm only a couple of days into doing this, and I'm already starting to get that feeling of okay, they weren't kidding when they said that sometimes you got to call a bunch of people to finally get one yes. It's just the world. It's what we live in. And if it's not us, trust me, there's going to be another company that comes along tomorrow and the day after that. It is what it is. It's a numbers game. But I like the fact that we took this episode to at least tell you guys that you are watching this, or when I cut this stuff up or I share it, this is what you should expect to get into. And me personally, I can't speak for everybody, I'm not the most gullible person in the world. I used to be, but not anymore. But GT's tilting his head over there but I genuinely believe in this product. I genuinely believe in the direction that we're going. And again, as someone who, even in the dating world too, this can be applied to. And I'm sure everybody that's watching this show right now has been dragged through the mud before in the dating world. Maybe you show up. Maybe they don't even show up. Maybe they schedule something, they don't show up, or you're talking and they disappear, you get ghosted, whatever. That stuff happens. But it only takes, you're right, finding the one good one in order to really make this work. And so I have to imagine that there's a handful of companies out there that are really, really going to be in on this. It's just our job to find them. Yeah,
and sometimes you have to hit them over the head with a piece of wood for them to really see the value. And I don't mean that to be physically, but but the reality is we get around in our own ways. Think about the walls that we put up on a personal level that prevent us from having open and honest relationships with the people who are right in front of us. The same thing is true in the business world, right? Businesses have been screwed, they've been whatever. There are so many things that can happen, with this, right? So I don't want anyone ever get lost in the fact that we know that. It's our job to get through some of that, right? And I use the word disarming a lot, we want to disarm ourselves so that the potential customer doesn't see what we're trying to do is sell them. I don't want anyone to think that I'm selling them anything, right? At the end of the day, if we're doing our job properly and explaining the different things that we have available as part of our platform, then if they will see that value either in exposure or intrinsic value, which returns an ROI to them. What is in it for me, Mister? Well, again, what's in it for you is if you aren't there, you aren't going to be seen on a platform that has been created for the sole purpose of getting in front of the soccer community. And if you are in the soccer community space, this is a great place for you to be. It's really that simple. But be that as it may. That will wrap up our Wednesday Hump Day show from here at National Soccer Network. Inside the Game, number 22 in the books. Want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Nathan, it was a great episode, man. We'll continue to have this conversation. Tomorrow is Throwback Thursday. We will take a look at a number of things here in regards to what life has looked like for us at the National Soccer Network, previous MSN. We'll take a look at some stuff here over the last couple of years as far as what we can throw back and talk about. So that'll be part of tomorrow's episode here, number 23. And then don't forget, on Friday is Film Review Friday. And we'll go through some reviewing of not only our stuff, but some other stuff that's out there as well. So, but we do appreciate you stopping by. Good stuff as always. Later Gators, says Jimmy Coe, and great stuff, says Peter. We appreciate you tuning in as always, gentlemen, and ladies and gentlemen for that matter. But that'll wrap it up here. You can watch us again live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Roku each and every day of the week, Monday through Friday. So long, everybody. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.